Welcome to Derailed, the podcast where we ask existential questions about nothing.
Like belly button lint.
I'm Haus, joined by Prods.
Yep. I'm Google.
And Google.
That's Google.
Yeah, there's Google.
It's Google.
Hey.
That's my guy right there, dude.
I hate both of you.
What? That's not
I know
nice.
you do.
I'm just kidding.
Last episode was very
Did we get some
hard
views?
on all of us.
Well, I
Get
got
some views?
I got something to talk about on that one, actually. Do we have any like comments from any of the previous podcasts or anything?
Things are pretty calm. I think people are. It's like the calm after the storm.
Yeah. Too scared to
People
say
are
anything.
afraid.
Yeah.
It's like walking on eggshells.
It's like
living
Dad's
in an
mad
abusive
and you
household.
better watch out.
Dad's mad. Walking on.
Dad's been
eggshells.
drinking all night again.
Oh.
Daddy's angry.
Oh fuck, man.
I don't know. Nothing. It seems people. I don't know. Maybe they just don't care that we were fighting over zombies.
Well, you know what? I think somebody actually mentioned it to me that it sounded like a fight, right? They're like, "Oh man, it sounds like you and Google aren't even friends," and I'm like, that's what we do. We just we go back and forth. We always yell at each other. Like every kind of discussion between me and him is usually that. It's like we yell at each other and then we fucking shit on
Good
each other.
repartee.
Yeah, it's like
I got
don't take
the
it personally.
contrary of. They said everyone sounds like we've known each other for years.
Well, somebody addressed me with that episode. Like it was a personal, and they're like, "Oh, they're like you and I'm like, look, you don't know the dynamic of me and Google. Like that's just what it is. Like it's like
you don't know us.
I mean, Google.
We fight like
I'm
an old
about-
married couple.
Well,
It's,
yeah,
you know.
I'm not gonna say Google. Like Google is definitely probably more intelligent than myself, and that's because he's probably got years of experience or life experience than I do. And so
I'm 60. That's what
Yeah.
he's saying. I'm
No,
65 years old.
I'm
How
not
old
trying.
are you?
I'm not trying to say that.
Old.
I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying.
Really?
I'm fucking with you. It's an easy.
I'm just saying, like he is a lot more
Oh my
well-read
God.
than myself personally. So, it just.
He's well read.
Well, I mean, like he just didn't want to. He obviously shit on the topic because he's gonna use actual
He's
factual
been to
science.
university.
Why
I'm
do you-
using
Why do you gotta keep
I'm
cutting
using
me off?
arguments
Huh?
that-
Why do you
yeah,
gotta
it's
keep
just
cutting me off, House? I try not to do it to you.
Here
I'm
we
trying
go.
to talk,
I
and you
know,
cut me
I know.
off. All right.
Welcome to the Catfight
you better-
Podcast.
fuck, you better
where
watch it,
We
buddy.
argue.
All right, listen.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. Are you
What were
listening?
you saying?
I was just saying, it was like that's just what me and Google do. We just shit on each other. It's funny. Like we can
Yeah,
take it as
it's
a
good
joke.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can take it as a joke.
I don't.
It's just a good.
Everybody shits on each
Yeah,
other.
it's fun.
Families shit on each other.
Oh
I mean, it's
God!
normal.
Should come to my Thanksgiving that just passed. Holy fuck!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like if your family drinks at the Thanksgiving Day table and it ends in a fucking power nap after years of fighting, just being aired
Ours
in
ended
front
with a
of,
boat ride back to the island
Yeah.
so I could go home.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah. It's like
It's
if you
not because the meal makes you sleepy. It's that you're so exhausted.
yeah, he's
from dealing with
emotionally
all of it.
drained.
Yeah,
from just
you're
being
like-
screamed
Yeah.
at.
It's like, so are you putting your money on your TFSA? Huh? You saving money? It's like,
Yeah, your
Yeah.
fucking cousin's a complete schmuck. Let me tell you something. He's a fuck up for life. This kid going to college again for art school? You're a fucking idiot. It's like in the room in
Why
the other
do you
kidding
donate
table.
your blood every year?
Yeah,
Why do you
like-
do it? What do they do to deserve your
Like
blood?
literally, my fucking family would just shit on each other. And then, like, literally, we would be at the kiddies table, which is right next door, and it's like fully grown adults, as we're being shit on at the main table within earshot, like no distance away. Like, it's just, it's a
Yeah.
roast.
Oh, I know how that is. The thing that really gripes me at like Thanksgiving or family, I have a big family, and they all come over, and we set up tables. We have the main table for all the adults. Then we have folding tables for the extended family. Then we have like a smaller folding table, which is the kiddie table.
Yeah.
And like
Girlfriends and
all
kitty
of
table.
the babies and children will be at the main table.
yeah.
Why?
And then all of the parents
The
will
only
be on
the only
on
way a
folding
girlfriend of
ones.
yours is gonna get to the main table is if you're married. That's the only way that works. Like it's like
yeah, I was going to say.
yeah.
Yeah, same.
It's the only way that
Exactly.
works.
Well, even though they're all married, but there's so many couples married.
Yeah.
So all the
And they have
siblings that are
kids
married
and
fight
whatnot.
over the main
Yeah.
table. But since I cook, I get the fucking seat. I
get the other
other.
head of the table. Actually, I get pretty lucky. Then.
I get.
It's a
a
good
main,
plan.
Yeah, I don't even have to do
Good
anything.
cushy
I'm just
chair.
I'm just the favorite and the eldest.
Yeah, if you're the alpha boy who's gonna just carry on the seed, like if you're relegated to whether you're gonna carry on the last name or not. If you're not a main name carrier, you get fucking girlfriends, the dumb whores. Go to the fucking kitty. You got a second kitty table. Fuck you. You don't even get. You're like third dibs on the line.
God,
like terrible.
This
Oh,
sounds
I
like
made-
an
I
incel
made,
podcast at this point, baby. I can't
Uh,
wait.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
made my
my-
mom. I made my mom pretty mad at me I think it was last Christmas.
Mhm.
They were all talking like, when are you gonna have a kid? Blah, 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 blah.
Ugh.
It's like, oh, I got a vasectomy.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Oh, I got one last week. Want to see the scar? He just punched me in the chest. And I was like, no, I'm never spreading my name.
Yeah.
I'm never spreading my
You're gonna pull a Henry Rollins? I got you. It's okay.
Oh, I'm taking it to the grave.
Dude, Henry Rollins is spreading seeds. He doesn't know the names of his kids.
No, he's never spread. He refuses to have children. That's not happening.
Well, yeah, I know, but he just probably got some kids running around that he doesn't know about. You know?
Yeah.
Dude,
or he's
Henry
spreading
Rollins.
apple seeds.
Apple seeds, baby. So yeah, with the podcast, yeah, we're just, me and Google are just good friends. We yell at each other. I mean, me and Haus yell at each other.
Mm-hmm.
I love yelling at people. It's fun. It's entertaining for me.
It is good fun.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna change this up a little bit. We're not gonna do the news little stories that we were doing before, because for me, I honestly felt like it was a little bit of filler. I mean, we could find something a little bit better to do with our times. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a recap of what you guys have done so far this week, because we record this a little bit middle of the week, a little bit later in the week. So we're gonna go around, see what we guys have done this week. Have a chat about it, and then we'll move on to the main topic. Google, you go first. I'm curious.
You know what I've done? I've watched like 500 hours of knife making and or like metallurgy videos.
So
like I've been studying
So much
TTT graphs of steel states and like how quenching and tempering works with different types of steel. Interesting thing I ran across. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. So there's this it's a type of steel. It's called bainonite, where you get this very high springy, high density shit. There's like one guy who's figured out a process to actually make bainonite knives. But like what you have to do.
What is it
like,
though? What kind of element is it? What is it?
It's still steel. Like it's like you got martensite, you got bainonite, you got perlite.
So is
you
it
got
like
different types
folded, or is it like high pressured, or?
No, it's just like how you quench. It's basically like the properties of the steel change depending on how fast you quench it, like how fast it goes from 1500 degrees to whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it determines like the crystalline structure. No, I didn't know either. Yeah, but bainonite's the shit where you literally start at 1500 and you have to keep it at like 700 degrees for upwards of 3 days without it actually getting cold. So you have to quench it, but still keep it at this line long enough for it to actually form these like carbon crystals where it organizes the carbon. Anyway. So I was looking at that shit. Each fucking bainonite knife is like $1,000 because it's just the amount of effort and time and autism that goes into making something like that. Just, I have no idea why you would want something like that. Like bainonite's generally used for like spring steel and like trucks and shit where you have high tensile, high flexibility. But I don't know. I've just been fucking reading about knife and sword making.
I wish I had so much spare time. Jesus Christ!
Well, I quit my job, so that's it's great.
Oh, that's
that explains
helps.
it then. Yeah.
Just like, I'm going to study metallurgy for the next week. I'm unemployed.
Yes. Bainonite. Obscene material.
Yeah.
Must obtain this.
Dude, states of steel, this is cutting edge. How did the Japanese masters learn to do? Like, I don't give a shit about weeaboos or anime, but I love me a good fucking katana. Not that I want it.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're about to say, but I mean,
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are very nice. But I mean, I personally, I like there's a nice shop in Toronto that's like that. It's like folded steel, like folded Japanese steel.
Yeah.
Some of the fucking knives, like some they sell kitchen knives and other stuff like that, like hunting knives.
Yeah.
But their kitchen knives, $500-$600, if not upward.
Oh yeah, it's because the man hour that goes into making something folded steel, even with a hydraulic press. Like you have to start with like 4 times the amount of steel that you're working with because you lose so much in the process of reducing it down into a bar.
And it's so sharp and pristine when it's done. It's like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is like the temper.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm just passing interest in metallurgy. Not that I give a fuck or anybody else does, but fascinating shit.
I watch knife making videos. It's relaxing. I like the guy who makes knives.
Listen,
out of pasta.
I'm not gonna.
dude, that guy.
Pass judgment on it because I watch videos of like mice and rats dying in traps. So as I said,
dude, you're snake guy, dude. That
for another story.
Snake guy.
No, we should explain the snake guy.
God.
Like, dude, we should link that shit because like the snake guy is like he absolutely hates snakes. You should let you explain it. But I've been watching that dude's channel. Holy fuck!
It's not that he hates snakes. He loves them a lot because he has so goddamn many of them. His name's Viper Keeper. I've talked about him before, but I don't know. It's like I first found him because it was like he had a mamba, a green mamba, and it was like attacking him. And he's like, man, this dude's gonna die. Like he's just like feeding mice to all these like horribly like venomous snakes. Like if they bite you, you're dead. Even if they have that vaccine, you're dead. And like he's just like, get out of here, you goof. And he's pushing him with his shoe back into the box. And he's like, oh, well, you buying me, you silly thing. And then he called a snake a dirty Palestinian. And then I went to his Facebook and you find out he's really, really racist. And
dude, like, and he's, I was reading about the snakes that dude handles because I've obviously had time, and he handles snakes that they don't have vaccines for. Like a fucking idiot. Like he's literally just kicking snakes that they don't even have a fucking antivenom.
Yeah, he has an Indian razorback, which like there's literally 4 different variations because there's different regions in India, and not one vaccine's the same for each one of those snakes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good.
Well, like it's like cool what he's doing. He is giving like the snakes to the zoos and research.
He breeds them, doesn't he?
He breeds them for research and for making like, antivenoms, and a lot of medicines and stuff is made from that.
Yeah, but dude, imagine that dude rolls up at some professor's classroom or laboratory, and he's just like kicking a snake out with his toe. Like he just reaches him with this monkey foots the fucking snake out of
this little demon. Look out for this little demon. They'll get you just like
oh, you're feisty today, little buddy. You seem really feisty. Like so bad.
Yeah, he's feisty. He's pissed off. He's on a box living with your Tweety Bird T-shirt wife.
Okay, so recap of Google's week. He watched a bunch of metal forging with knives.
Videos.
Yeah.
Forged in Fire. WalterSorrells.com. He'll teach you how to make a knife. It ain't like dunking your regular razor blade and horse piss. That's like my favorite Walter Sorrells quote from the week. He's a quenching in horse piss, which he has apparently tested because it's an ancient European secret. Horse pee. Look it up.
Okay.
Oh, I believe it.
I'm not kidding, because it's like closer to 98 degrees.
I do believe it. I'm not doubting you.
No, you get to generally for martensite or whatever, or perlite, martensite. You want to get decent martensite, a hard cutting edge. You keep that fucking quenching oil at like 100 degrees. So I guess horse piss works. No shit.
Interesting. Does it smell bad?
I'm gonna buy a horse and give it a whirl.
Collect its piss.
Yeah, it's actually where My Little Pony
Martha
came from.
P in the fucking tube.
I'll keep this piss at a wonderful 700 degrees.
Yeah, dude, just keeping hot piss for making Betaurite knives. It sounds great, dude.
Just got your stove,
it, like,
just warming up.
Yeah, can you use like an electric fryer?
Yeah, you could, dude.
With horse piss.
Just artisanal horse pee knives, dude. Betaurite horse pee knives are artistically crafted by a team of mustached, tattooed hipsters, all with neck tattoos.
Oh God.
That doesn't sound bad to me.
Okay.
Come on, what did you do this week?
Oh no, Haus, you go next. Mine wasn't.
Oh, you want me to go?
Mine was not eventful. So
let's see. What was this week? I think it wasn't last week technically.
Sure.
I took my boat out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's getting colder. It's been horribly fucking cold. This was like the beginning of October. I don't know. I try to get the boat. We try to keep the boat out before it gets like. Sometimes in October we've had snow and we've had really cold weather. But the wind has been just so bad, and we had rain.
Yeah.
For a solid week every day.
And then it froze.
It kind of got cold. It didn't get that cold. I think like last Friday. This past Friday, it got down to 30 something, and it was like near freezing. But
I think I start to think you're from Wisconsin sometimes because you start talking about the weather so often. You're like, "Don't you know 30 degrees there, bud?" I'm like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, it got cold.
It got really fucking cold.
It did.
And that was the night I wanted to take. I took my nieces to a haunted hayride.
Oh, okay.
And one of my nieces has never been.
Like how old?
One's 13, the other one's 16.
And the 13-year-old hasn't been to one before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took her to the 16-year-old. She went the year before, and it was like fun. She's never been, and first she was scared, and then she's like, okay. And my other niece, she's like, she's a little anxious about that stuff. When she was little, she was horrified of that stuff. So I was like, all right, we'll go and be fine. And we're walking in, and everyone's in this big line in this huge field waiting to get on the trailer to go on this hayride through this haunted forest. And we're walking into the entrance, and there's this person, or I thought it was a scarecrow. It was like a man sitting under a sign with a pumpkin scarecrow head and just sitting there frozen. And my niece was just like, oh my God, I don't want to go near it. I was like, it's just a scarecrow to take pictures with under the sign. Like, it's fine. And we walked past it. Thing didn't move. It was like perfectly still. And then we're in the line, and then we we're just standing there, and then there's a group of people, all these like little girls and like some young teens, all sit down with this pumpkin guy, and immediately pumpkin guy just goes whoa and stands up and scares the shit out of him, and I was like, oh man, I thought he was fake. He did not look fake at all. He was like stuffed with hay. And my niece was like, I told you. And she was like kind of mad at me.
You know,
but then
I gotta stop.
ended up taking her on it.
I'm sorry.
She was horrified.
I just kind of, like, I'm not trying to cut, well, actually, I'm trying to cut you off. My dad used to do something funny at Halloween involving a scarecrow. He used to,
I used to do that same shit.
No, he didn't dress up as a scarecrow, but he'd fill a fucking thing full of straw and leaves or whatever, right? And then he would get fishing line, hook it to the arms, or make it stand up fully, right? So fucking what he would do is he put a pumpkin there, put a mask on the pumpkin, because it's like probably a good shape to the head, right? And kids would come by and think it's fake, right? And right when the fucking we'd hand out the candy, my dad be around the corner having a cigarette, and he'd yank on the fishing line. Kids would shit their fucking pants. It was the fucking funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my whole life. Sorry, House's mom for swearing.
Pretty good.
Dude, I used to do something actually worse. Like I rigged up like a fake news system, and so I'd be standing on these things up in a tree, like waiting by the candy, and I'd get another buddy, get him in like a fucking, like the classic pumpkin head, and then we just jump, like he'd jump at people, like have the candy on his lap, scare the shit out of them, and then I'd be waiting in the tree, waiting for him to go past, and I'd scare him again. So just like kids running away. It's good fun.
Yeah. I'm planning on doing something good for Halloween this year, going over to my sister's house where all the trick-or-treaters are. And I'm actually working on this costume. It's pretty much inspired from Bloodborne. I'm going to be one of those the guys that walk through the cathedral ward with the lanterns on the poles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm making this like pale porcelain mask and getting a big hat. And I'm just going to sit in this big wooden chair. And I'll have like, you can go to the house and get the normal candy, but near me will be a bucket of king size candy bars.
Yeah, the classic bait
and
and
you
switch.
Have to come to me,
Mm-hmm.
and when I stand up, I'm gonna hook this up right to a Bluetooth speaker, and when I stand up, these bright lights will shine, and I'll just have this big fucking lantern thing and just go, and loud sound or something will play. When they come to get the candy bar, and I'll scare the shit out of them. I'm working on the logistics of it still, but I'm going to scare as many kids as I can this year.
I always wonder how many people get punched. Whatever you do, you're the guy who jumps out and scares people.
If you're old enough to fucking throw a punch, I don't think you should be trick-or-treating. That's just best way to
That's
describe it.
probably true.
Exactly.
Yeah. Figure a parent once in a while.
I'll leave a warning, like only the brave grab
Only the brave
this
boys.
candy or something. No, yeah. So that, and so that's the first weekend of October. I take my some nieces or whoever's ready on a haunted hayride, and then I put up decorations. I set up a fake graveyard, tombstones, everything. I did that. Added the fake blood to the fountain, so it's fountain has blood coming out of it.
You just dropping food coloring into a fucking fountain or what?
No, it's like a special like thick dye that can go through the pump.
Oh,
cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else? And then,
I always thought it'd be funny to do that with a bird bath and just see how many birds end up red. Yeah.
I always kind of worried about that.
Contaminate the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
I don't see very many birds because they're all they all went south.
Yeah, there's bloodstained
Already.
squirrels and shit. Like, oh, what's wrong with your
I
yard,
don't give a
dude?
shit.
It's part of
Squirrels
the
can
aesthetic. Oh, okay.
Like, if they're not gonna die from that, my cat will kill them. So,
No.
my cat rips squirrels apart.
Not bad.
I had Lebanese food for the first time.
What'd you think?
This past
Oh, so
just a
good.
day ago.
What'd you have?
That was shawarma.
Really?
Oh, delicious.
shawarma.
Yeah.
It was good. I
Get
liked
some
it.
of that
I liked it
yogurt
a lot.
drink. That shit is
Yeah, the
delicious.
tahini?
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, I didn't get a yogurt drink. I had tahini with the chili paste with it. It was good.
Mm.
I like Mediterranean food. I just never went to a Lebanese place before. Just never went like, I want Lebanese. So I got that on the way. It was because I was on the way home from the hospital. I was getting some blood tests. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get some Lebanese. And I did. And then I bought some new manga. I bought some more Dora Hidoro. Been reading that because it's spooky.
What?
Dorohedoro's awesome.
I don't know
It's,
what
like,
it is.
So good.
I mean, honestly, I really don't know what it is.
No
It's-
idea.
It's this manga. It starts off, the first page of it is a guy getting his head bit by this humongous like lizard man,
Okay.
and his head's just in the other lizard's mouth. And inside of the lizard's mouth is a man's like apparition going like, I don't know who you are. And then the lizard man kills him. And the whole thing of the story is a wizard came into there's like all these people live in this shitty city, and wizards come through magic doorways and test their magic on humans to like test and learn and stuff. And then they go back to their wizard world. So all these like people in this world are all like fucked up and deformed. And this guy has a lizard head and he's looking for the wizard that turned him into a lizard man. And it's like super violent. It's probably the most violent manga I've ever read.
Read Goblin Slayer.
Oh yeah, and I watched the first episode of Goblin
Yeah,
Slayer.
what'd you think about that?
I watched it to see what all the hubbub was about, and I'm like, rape and mass like gory murder. I've seen that in fantasy.
Yeah, well, Berserk's been doing it for years, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Exactly. I think Berserk was way more gut wrenching.
Yeah, but
These are all characters you didn't know. They just did that to remove the safety from it.
no, but just wait.
Because I mean, when you
wait with the thing. As I said, it slowly develops. It's not going to be instantaneous.
This is
it's
why,
not
yeah.
instantaneous.
Shout outs to Gantz. Like, I don't know if you've ever read the
Oh, yeah,
manga of
Gantz.
Gantz, but yeah, it's a classic.
All right, sorry. Continue. House, we completely derailed that again.
No, yeah, I watched it and it was fine. I mean, it was just more like, oh, cool. There's a dude named Goblin Slayer and he's badass. That's cool. I'll watch it for that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much it. And I've read some of the Goblin Slayer stuff before, and like the argument that it's like, oh, it's so misogynistic. I'm like, yeah, there's rape in it and murder, and it's a manga, a violent fantasy manga. I mean, what do you expect?
It comes from Japan,
I mean,
is what I'm really saying.
I mean, what do you want? I mean, yeah, there's gonna be fan servicey stuff in it, and that can put it in a bad light. When Berserk didn't really go that route, Berserk was way more like of a slow burn and gut wrenching and more mentally disturbed. But it all served a plot purpose. This was just like, oh yeah, goblins, they're just the horny rapists, the only way they can mate.
Oh God!
Like,
So it's
that's
like
it.
like the descent. Like that's another thing. Like just sidestepping. I was reading about fucking mangakas or whatever the fuck. I don't know what you call them. Like
Yeah.
the people who make mangas, and how much of
Yeah.
like that shit is just basically voluntary slave labor. It's like, yeah, you got 7 days. they all like sleep like 3 hours a night. You know, you got like 7 days to come out with an entire new thing for Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like it's crazy to imagine like the level of dedication that has to take to sit there day and night. Even like, you know, and if you've been established for like 10 years, then you can hire one assistant to help you ink
Yeah.
things, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Yeah, like
that
Junji Ito.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. He's like that.
I fell in love with Berserk when I saw it as a kid. It was one of my favorite fucking
Oh yeah,
things ever.
Berserk is awesome.
I loved it. It's-
No, but Doro, I highly suggest it. It's super great for October, fall. It just kind of matches because it's just all about like wizards and witches and
I'm
violent.
not a big manga guy.
it has zombies, which is great.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the best thing is when all the wizards use magic. It's like black smoke comes out of their fingertip, and all of the wizards using magic polluted the world.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the black smoke went into the clouds. So whenever it rains, it puts spells on the dead in the graveyards. So one day a year, all of the dead come back to life. And it's like just called Zombie Day. And they all like go to the graveyard with like monks, and they just all murder zombies. And every ear they collect, it's like tickets. And if you get a lot of tickets, you get to buy things like a stove or a microwave or a gyoza maker.
God.
And like the lizard man loves gyoza, and his like friend is like owns a restaurant, and they see that there's like a meat grinder. He's like, oh my God, you make so many gyoza with that. So he just runs into the graveyard and murders as many zombies as he can because he wants the fucking meat grinder. And that's like the whole plot of that chapter.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
don't know,
sounds
it's
like
really,
the
it's really good.
like Color of Magic or whatever, like the Terry Pratchett.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically what I've been up to.
Not bad.
You prods.
what have you been doing?
I've been working working.
Oh yeah, that too. But I don't feel like that's. I feel like that's boring.
Doesn't count.
I mean, I care about my job, so I guess I don't know. I don't know if I actually really care about it.
I've been a very good businessman. I just can't.
I'm at a point where I just can't. I don't know if I care about it or if I'm just really like I'm one of those people who actually give a shit about what he does and the work that he presents. That I did worked. I caught up with an old friend for the past 3 days. It was great, actually. I really enjoyed it. It gave me some time to actually talk to somebody and share a little bit of camaraderie, I suppose. Drank a little bit here and there. Finished reading. Somebody got me Damnation for my birthday. It's like a fucking Warhammer 40k graphic novel. It's about the Black Templars. So I was reading it and just going through it. It was really good. I like the graphic novel series they have. It touches on everything. Like it's like certain moments in the universe or less. And I've been playing a lot of Total War 2 Warhammer. So
yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Now that somebody got banned from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I got banned from World of Warcraft last week. Yeah.
What? Yeah. All right, explain what happened.
I got banned for using a phishing bot like twice, which was stupid. So now all the work that I put into getting all my fucking item levels, it's so annoying. And I was trying to literally argue
a phishing bot.
Literally, I sent them 5 emails. I had someone running me up all the fucking appeals. Literally 5 emails, and they were so well written, and I thought maybe they might work. Not a damn thing. And Blizzard is a pain in the ass. Man. Like holy shit. Like and the BFA expansion, like. I don't hate it, but the problem is it's too much RNG. You know, like what the fuck's the point of the Titan Forge shit and all that other stuff? If it's just random, it's like you work your ass off in like a raid. If you do a normal raid with a group of people, and then some random fucking dude joins from Raid Finder and like gets a fucking 370 fucking roll drop on it, and it's like the fuck. Like I'm busting my ass for this shit. What the hell? And
yeah, well, I can get it for the raids. It's just like okay, I've done. A level 10 mythic, and I really hope that this particular piece of gear that is the same duplicate that I already have rolls Warforged and has a socket and fucking just like, okay, you know, like never mind.
But the thing is, though, it's like it's funny because it's like they come with BFA, Legion, you get the stupid relic item, relic weapons. Guess what?
Yeah,
they don't carry over. They don't carry over. What was the point of doing them?
Legion had protection. Like, that was the other... Like, you did get some carryover, but they had some kind of drop protection for shit. So gearing, I think it's honestly just, like, the rate that they've been dropping shit. It's just their, like, roll protection so they can keep people... You'll notice that every single new piece of content comes out 5 weeks later, mysteriously. Like,
and then,
just past the sub point.
Knowing now that something's going to update, like, there's going to be another update, guaranteed the mythics are going to drop down in difficulty. I grinded my fucking ass off on mythics on that character. It pissed me off. Like, as Google, we were doing it for a period of time, and he like, fucking was raging, right? But
mythics are terrible.
I used to do it by myself. I was doing +4s and 5s, and I was only getting 355 drops for it. I was busting my ass, dude. 6 pluses and shit like that, and just to get a 360 piece, and then I get fucking banned for using a stupid fucking fishing bot, and I'm like really? I'm like they're so goddamn up their asses. Like I mean they ban people for spitting on people repeatedly, for God's sakes.
They
like,
do. Yeah. Like, no, my buddy got like a 24-hour ban for just backslash
I literally used the
spitting.
fishing bot for literally a total of maybe like 2 hours. 2 hours, and then I stopped.
Dude, it's an emote.
When I first played World of Warcraft, it was on my friend's account. He was like sitting in the room with me. He's like, "Oh, this is World of Warcraft. You should try it out." I played EverQuest before that.
Yeah.
And I like ran up. There was like all these people killing rats in a field. It was like the beginner quest.
Mm-hmm.
And an admin was there. And I didn't even realize it was admin. I thought they were like maybe someone important. But it was a person, and they were absolutely like someone that worked for World of Warcraft, and I came up to him and just kept requesting to duel them, and they banned the account.
You got permabanned,
that day. And my friend comes to play, and he's like, "How come I can't log in?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
just denial.
I just like, I don't know what's going on.
Man, I don't know. But as I said, Blizzard needs to chill the fuck out with some things, you know? Like, god damn, like...
Yeah, shoutouts to Blizzard. If you actually listen to your player base for once in your fucking life, now would be the time before you lose another 1.7 million subs.
They are going to. Right after this, like, literally, they're like... If you watch a video by Asmund Goldie, pretty much, like, Lily explains the whole issue with it. And he's been playing 12 years. I've been playing 12 years myself, but not as hardcore as he has. Only up until right recently, where I've actually started putting a lot more effort into it. But I feel feel for him, man. Like if you play for 12 years and you get this bullshit and you still don't have your PvP vendors back, well, I'd be thinking about
Blizzard will
leaving, too.
never. They'll never listen to anything that anyone like even when they listen, they don't listen. Like they're like, oh, we
don't like
we
criticism.
heard your
They hate
feedback.
criticism. They hate
Yeah,
it.
we heard your feedback, and we're going to give you a system that's close to what you want,
Here's
but it's
some
also going to be
Warfronts.
shitty.
Here's some Warfronts.
Yeah.
This is cool and new and original. Here's some Warfronts. Go fight and play some silly little RTS, but you're like a little component to it.
Welcome to League of Legends. We got 3 rails and 3 different ways you can come to a head, and then we just, it's League of Legends. I hate this. This is the global cooldown. Fuck you, Blizzard. Actually, this is just the fuck Blizzard
I
podcast.
liked Guild Wars 2 a lot. That was
Guild Wars 2 is
MMO I actually got.
No,
really
you could
into.
literally go into
amazing.
like the battleground thing or whatever the hell it was, and you just go in a circle and like a literally destroying train, and you just keep getting levels. Like it was like
It was called Follow the Dorito.
I
I
did it.
got the
Yeah.
level 60.
Yeah, I did that too.
Star Wars Galaxies.
That was fun.
Could do MMOs that haven't sucked as much as current WoW for hours.
I'm
ESO
torn.
was pretty good too.
I'm torn about WoW. I like WoW. WoW has good lore and it's very engaging, but the thing that just irritates me is the fact that the way Blizzard treats it, and they don't listen to their player base. If they did, it'd be so much better. And I mean, considering this game has so much lore, I mean, like fucking the story of Duratan, the story of fucking old Stormwind, the story of Lordaeron, the story of Arthas, like key component figures in this, like it's so good and deep, and it's just fun to actually like read up and read about if you like fantasy. But it's just like, fuck me, like pay
Blizzard's
attention.
dead.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. Like since the merger with Vivendi, since Activision Blizzard, it's nothing but garbage. Like transmog, $60 boosting.
Come on, Black Ops 4, we're off.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
No,
As far as like MMOs go, I mean, the only MMO I've ever really gotten into was Destiny, and it surprised a lot of people. When it first came out, like everyone was like, "Oh, you gotta buy it! You gotta buy it! You gotta get it!" And I got it, and then within like 3 days, they all stopped playing. And
Yeah.
I kept playing, and I was like, "Yeah, it's like it was like a chill couch game to play." I had it on PS4.
I want to play Red Dead, the
And-
new one. Sorry.
I played it for a while, and then after a while, like Destiny actually really did listen to their community, and then this update came out called The Taken King, and the game became this entirely different game, and it was amazing.
But then,
And then
you're
I
lucky.
got like dead set hooked into.
Then you're
it.
lucky. You're lucky that they pay attention.
Yeah.
You're
Destiny 2 right now is awesome. Like the new raids that came out, I'm sad about because it's the thing. October's a busy month for me, or the fall in general, and all of this stuff came out around the fall. I have still not gone on the raid yet. I've been waiting for some friends to get ready to go in, but it's like fucking raiding for me in that game is always so fun because it's like a mystery of what's gonna be in there. And that's been.
I mean, as long as the
gonna
game
do
can
it.
keep you on your toes, like I mean, you can. And as I said, if they listen
Yeah,
to the player
it's
base,
fun.
you're golden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's also Halloween celebration right now in the game.
This used
which
to
is
be the
great.
fun part of WoW back in the day, like with Burning Crusade,
that's-
Oktoberfest,
yeah.
and all that shit used to come
dude,
in.
don't even. Yeah, they had Oktoberfest. It was dog shit. Like really, we can
Yeah.
all say that Burning Crusade was probably the last time that
It was probably
WoW was
good.
just
Yeah.
ridiculously
I mean,
addictively
the
fun.
Halloween fucking events. Oh my god, dude, the Headless Horseman one. Holy fuck, was that fun?
Yeah.
TF2 used to do
Yeah.
really great
Yeah.
Halloween
Oh,
events.
dude, TF2 like the bot shit. Like when you're like that was TF2 is probably the only game I've ever actually enjoyed doing PVE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't know about Destiny. Like I can't speak to it, but I've heard a lot of people change their tune on Destiny 2. So I don't know. Like, I'm not sold yet. Given that there's 3 expansion packs that they want you
Yeah.
to buy now, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Destiny. Like,
I know.
I don't know.
I'm
if
not
it's
sold
bad.
on it
Just
yet
buy 'em
either.
all together
Like,
at
yeah,
this
like
point.
I'm not sold
Yeah,
on it
it's
yet
just-
either. And I got people trying to buy me a copy of Black Ops 4 to play with them, and so I'm thinking about
No.
maybe playing that because I heard it's not bad.
Dude, it's just from what I hear, it's just an Overwatch
But I
replacement.
like
which is cute.
FPSs. Like I mean, I'll play an FPS. Like I like a good mean FPS. So I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, but when was the last Call of Duty that you were really enthralled with?
Modern Warfare, the first one.
Black Ops 2.
No, the first.
Exactly,
First Modern
Black Ops
Warfare.
2, like
Yeah.
Modern Warfare, like the first one.
the very
Like,
first one.
Only because Black Ops 2 was so fucking goofy.
it was,
ridiculous.
dude, fucking running on the ceiling, like Yeah, all kinds
In
of
the-
stupid shit. Dogs, like
In the
Dogs?
in
Spooky.
the techno
Dogs?
scene, there was like a club techno thing.
Airport scene, best scene.
So-
you know what I miss?
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss the only thing I miss about Xbox is freestyle rap artists and fucking Modern
Oh
Warfare.
yeah!
Like,
Holy shit!
That shit was so good. Like just the worst microphone ever. Like just
It's like, hey yo,
so
hey
good.
yo, I got a big booty. It drip, drip, drip. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
rap hard. I give it a lick, lick. Like it's like, what the fuck's this kid
Shut
saying?
up, mom! I'm playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I'm
you
on
can't even
Xbox.
you
Mom,
can't even
shut
send
up, Mom,
death
I'm-"
threats to people anymore. It's like not even the same internet. It feels like on some level.
I still feel that way when I play Dark Souls 1. You still get those
Oh, yeah.
messages from people.
Dude, that's
Pretty
that.
great.
Like I was playing Dark Souls 1. Like I still play Dark Souls and
Yeah.
Bloodborne like a religion. But I was playing Dark Souls 1 like 2 days ago, and I got invaded by this guy, and he saw that I was out of Estus, and he literally dropped to humanity for me. And then left. Like he literally was like, "Oh, you're out of Estus." Like he was ready to, like he was geared as fuck. He was ready to gank me. I'm like out of Estus. I'm like showing him, and he dropped me a humanity, and then just left. And I was like, "Oh, what a great guy!" Like
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, that's
like,
that
you know,
happens.
just in such a terrible environment that somebody's like, "Yeah, you're having a bad time. it's
Yeah.
okay, buddy.
There you
Here,
go.
I'm not gonna
I
fuck your
would
day
come
up."
in the world as my Smurf,
Yeah,
who is wearing the tiara,
of course.
wearing the ring,
Yeah.
and max pyromancy with black combustion.
Oh, you're such a
Run up to them
shitter.
and go and blow on them once, and then they die.
Dude, that's like
Instantly.
my favorite spell in Dark Souls 3. Like the only reason I ever go into any kind of spell whatsoever is just force. Like being able to boot
Yeah.
people
Oh
off
yeah,
of
yeah. You're
edges.
on.
It's just so
what's
much
that one
fun.
fucking PvP area? You literally lure them into the stairs. Force,
Yeah,
right off
yeah.
it. Force,
Classic.
every time. Just like, and then what was it? The Dragon Slayer bow. Literally hide
Yes.
behind a bush,
Dude,
pop
so
out.
good.
Boom.
Dude,
go
I
back
need to
down.
hide. There's that low visibility ring, so you can
Yeah.
really be on the
Yeah.
stairwell and just shoot people in the arena as they're PvPing. It's
So
fucking
good.
hilarious.
I fucking love
Like
Dark
fucking up
Souls.
fight clubs is just honestly the best part of
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
Souls 3.
Mm.
Yeah, I Dark Souls 3, I loved the painted world, the bridge.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
That's where I did all my invading.
Yes.
Because whenever people be going on that bridge, I would just boosh, push them back and shoot the bridge, and then they'd be trying to cross the bridge, and I would just go boop. Nope, you
Yeah,
can't walk
yeah.
past me. I would just use force, and they have to run back and
Yeah.
then fall.
All right.
The classic.
So good.
Before.
That or fucking. Yeah.
Sorry, no,
Dark
sorry.
Souls
no, no,
1,
continue, sorry.
like fighting on the scaffolding, like up in the ceilings, like above the painting.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
All right. Before, okay, so like that ends the whole segment. Like this, we're gonna try this out. It's just a format change to see if we can
Easy.
actually go.
Let's-
It's a
main
lot. I think it's a
topic.
lot easier. Let's All right, main topic. Let's get to it. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, why don't you tell me what the main topic is, Prods?
Dude, why do you gotta do this to me? Like, I probably forgot it by
What
now.
do you mean?
You know I probably forgot it by now. We were talking about.
It was made very clear to me that why do I always pick the topic? So I'm not.
I think it was something
I'm not picking the
to
topics
do
this
with what gets you in this spooky mood, or what's
Yeah.
and or what is a really terrifying time you had in your life, like as an adult,
Yeah,
more or less.
just stuff that getting in the spooky mood.
Yeah, I wouldn't say our fears.
pretty easy.
Wait, what would you describe this one as? I don't remember exactly what you said.
Well, ways to get in the spooky mood.
No, that. But what was the other one? Like terror, like a terrifying situation you've been in? Was that what it was?
Well, like that fear applies to like a moment in your life you've actually been scared, like something horrifying or scary.
When I saw my
Yeah,
grandpa in a
terrified.
coffin. There you go.
Oh, he got
Wow.
when I got robbed at gunpoint, yeah, it's an easy one. Like fucking
Yeah, that's
I-
happened
Those are all,
too.
like serious
Like-
things.
no, I got a good
I'm
one.
talking more like ghosts.
Dude, yeah. Okay.
Well,
Here's
grandpa could have been a
dude.
ghost.
Dude, I'll give you.
I
I'll give you a
touched
good
it.
one.
I was very curious about the whole thing.
Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
like when I was like 3. Like my aunt, I don't know what her fucking Charlene or some shit, like some weird.
Charlene.
Oh yeah, it's like a fucking old school
Charlene.
1920s name or some shit. Like my dad was like, "Oh, you want to touch her? No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead." Like puts my hand. I'm like, "Gee, what the fuck are you doing?" Like like 3. If like I don't understand what the fuck. He's like, "No, she's dead.
You
It's
must
fine."
be curious about death.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't feel you.
Like that was
They
a
can't feel
great
you at all.
educational time to teach you
No,
about death.
The
It's,
first,
yeah,
the
you can
first
touch
like
her.
weird feeling you get when you touch something that's dead, like say an animal. That's when you know it's like, okay, this feels fucking weird. Like, it's very cold and
And
stiff.
that's how I became
Yeah.
a necrophiliac.
Yeah, that's
all right, God. No.
So
No, I got a good
Touched
terror
his
story.
body?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me just get, dude, you got that's. I think morticians get a bad rap, but I've never met a mortician that doesn't seem like a fucking necrophiliac. I'm just gonna throw that out. Like, have you ever met a mortician that is well adjusted?
I know. Next week it's gonna be somebody in fucking Sweden or Norway. Listen, Google is very arrogant in what he knows about this subject.
Dude, dude. If we get a mortician, please contact us because I would love to have you on the podcast and ask you some questions
I know
about
a mortician, and they're like just like a hipster.
They love it.
Yeah, well, you're just. It doesn't
they
count.
do tarot card readings and they're like the occult.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, if he's got
they're all about like holistic.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Like, dude, if you have a neck
Make
tattoo,
the body as stinky as possible before they bury it.
Dude, it's like ass wipe syndrome. Like if you've wiped somebody's ass, you'll never be able to take advice from them as an adult. And like hipsters are just like the ultimate like oh, it's all about the aesthetics.
People's asses.
Well, I'm saying like like try and talk to your parents about economics. Like try and talk to your parents about balancing a checkbook.
Yeah, I guess that's
ass wipe syndrome. Yeah, like no, I haven't wiped anybody's ass, but except my own. But I don't listen to my own advice. It's fine.
Before.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, he got hurt.
And that's how I became a necrophiliac.
No, he got hurt. Fuck off.
I'm just fucking.
He got hurt. He can wipe his own butt.
That sounds terrifying, actually. That sounds.
He got hurt.
Google.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
it hurts.
It's only House's mom that I wish harm upon. That's,
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's a saint. She's a saint.
All right, let's.
Man, I really thought you were gonna.
Dude, I was suppressing it. That's my one.
I made the first comment, so I can't wait till you actually go back and look at the editing. I made the first comment, so
he did.
I did it right off the bat. I did it right off the bat, and you didn't even notice it. It was so good.
I got it terrified for you. Let me set the scene. All right, so
I know.
Fucking my buddy's parents are out of town for the weekend. We get a shit ton of ecstasy and mushrooms. I'm the only decent fucked up driver there is. We decided to go for a burn drive, like to go smoke some weed on the hills as the ecstasy and mushrooms are kicking in.
There, bud.
Yeah. Little ripperoni, little BD, burn cruise, a little bit of a roadie, a little touch of that shuffle bites run, a little bit of the bluff run, a bluff huff, you know what I mean?
Okay, look, but what we're saying is don't do drugs and drive, okay? Just
don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I was a terribly irresponsible child. Anyway, not that you should ever drive fucked up on anything, because this is just how retarded I was as a child. Anyway, fun story. So we're going down this country road, and we get into this little kind of ravine. I know it pretty well. It's going around a curve. And I see this car that's stopped. Like I can tell that their headlights aren't moving forward. And I'm thinking, the fuck is this? Is this dude okay? And like this dude pulls over to the side. I'm like, oh, he's just jack shining deer. It's a pretty common thing in this area.
Yeah.
And just as we're whizzing past at 50 miles an hour, the last thing that I see on his headlights, because I'm trying to determine whether it's a cop or not, is the tail end of a deer, like a leg from a deer going past his headlight. And just at that moment, the front right of the car and the front left of the car, the front left collides with the fucking front shoulder of a deer, and the right side collides with the rear end of a deer. So I hit two deer at once. Like going 50 miles an hour, fucked up. And so we pull over, and my buddy's like, oh, it's fine. It's okay. He kills both the deer, chucks them in the trunk in his fucked up state without bleeding them or any, like he's just like, oh, great, venison, like just fucking wonderful. So we drive back, and I'm just, my heart is racing. I'm like, holy fuck. Yeah, we get pulled over, right? So we get pulled over. We have no drugs on us because we chucked our thing because, figured, car's smoking at this point. Get pulled over because the damage on the car, no headlights. Cop goes to open the trunk. And I'll never, I'm trying to explain. I'm like, no, we hit deer. Wait, before you open this, it just literally looks like a bloodbath. And the cop literally lifts the trunk, looks at the deer, looks at me, and is like, oh, I think we've seen enough. You have a good night. And just let us go. It's just... anyway, so we cut up the deer or whatever. His parents got home 2 days later. I ended up, it was not dude, trying to explain to his mom why the trunk looks like we murdered someone. That just repeated. Not fun.
Should have threw a bag down, man. Should have threw a bag down.
Dude, we're fucked up. We had no idea what the fuck. I was like, why are we keeping these?
It's hard to get out of things. I'm telling you, man. It fucks her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He ended up getting the car. So
now that you mention it, I think that's kind of a interesting thing that now I'm thinking about. That cops scare me more than most things.
Oh, definitely.
cops give me the I don't know why. When I see a cop car and it's like in my lane, I'm like, my
that
hands are on the
panic.
steering wheel.
Yeah.
I'm locked up. I'm like, oh fuck, don't follow me.
Even when you're
I'm not
sober.
doing anything.
I think,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think that's just people in general. Like I have friends like that too. Me personally though, like literally people have been with me in cars where I've been pulled over. I tell cops to fuck off all the time. I don't care about police officers.
Am I free to go? Am I free to go?
No,
I cannot be detained.
no, it's not what I mean. I mean, like, I don't get stupid, retarded like that. I mean,
No,
like,
you just be respectful.
no,
You
I
look
don't
them
be
in the
respectful. I tell them to fuck off. I literally like ride. There's a ride program on where I live, the strip there where I live, like the street. Literally goes down from my house, literally right underneath where the bridge dips. They go right under there and do the little ride program. Okay, here's the story. Fucking literally Wednesday fucking night, Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't remember exactly. So fucking, we finished work. I'm dropping a friend off from work because it's down the street from me. I'm just gonna drop him off. No big deal. So I go drop him off. I'm heading down. I'm like, oh fuck. I see the ride program. I roll up to the fucking ride program. This stupid fucking cop puts his dumb big fucking head in my car, and I lean back out of the way because it's a fucking Mustang. It's a coupe. It's low to the ground. There's not much fucking headroom. And he puts his big fucking egghead in my car, and I'm like, he's like, oh. You have anything to drink tonight? And I'm like, it's fucking Tuesday, first off. Second of all, get your big head out of my car. I'm like, third, I'm like, can you not be doing anything better right now? I'm like, you think Tuesday night people are driving around intoxicated? He's like, you never know. I'm like, you never know if you actually shit your pants until you actually check your underwear, right? I guess, like, and I tell him,
You're
I'm
just
like,
hammered. I just picture you being like, it's literally just Trailer Park Boys like, every day of your life. Like, I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off. Listen, like,
and then I'm like, are we done here? He's like, well, you haven't been drinking. I'm like, do you smell fucking alcohol? It's a tiny car. You would have smelled it when you poked your big head in. And he's like, oh, you don't have to talk like that, but you can go your way. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. I really appreciate spending my fucking tax money on this. And I'm like, I fucking drive away. And then I went back the opposite way, right? Because they're still there, like fucking losers they are. So they're still there, and it's like, as I said, it's a little tunnel, right? So fucking, I come back down, I bust my left, and right where he fucking is, I fucking throw it into like fucking sixth, and I fucking just fucking literally let the biggest whale out of my car. And you can just see him looking at me, and I just like gear down, and I'm like, I just drive back up to
yeah, dude. That's like the best thing is fucking engine braking past cops, just to let them know that you don't give a fuck. You're like, it doesn't say I can't engine. Like, go ahead.
Spot, come get me.
It's never even on a third. I don't know what you're talking about.
I guarantee I'm gonna, like, when I'm an older man, I'm gonna be one of those guys who like randomly gets pulled over by a cop and pulls out a shotgun and just fucking kills the cop, and then it's on a high speed chase, and that's it. We're done.
Note to self of the
Well,
future.
now we know. That's his agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Phil
I'm just
Hartman.
saying, I don't.
Spoken like a true incel.
No, I'm just saying, I don't. Hey, hold up. I don't look. I have no issue with cops, but I think cops that literally waste time like that can fuck off, because there are way better like things. Like on the road of where I live, there's trucks that go like 80. Right, I live in Canada, so that's like, I think what, I guess
45 miles per hour.
Is that 45? I don't know.
No, that's like 55.
55? 55
60.
is fast, right? On a fucking 2-lane road, right?
It's not fast at all.
No, it's
like,
fast on a 2-lane road. It's a
like,
truck. It's a full-size, like, fucking 53-foot trailer attached to a goddamn...
Literally, no, not at all. Like, that's very, like... We have single, like, no. Like,
Okay, no,
you can...
I'm gonna explain the basics here, though. It's a truck, okay? A truck rated for 56,000 pounds, going at 80...
you're talking like semi.
Yeah,
okay,
semi.
that's
going
crazy.
80 kilometers an hour on a fucking road that's supposed to be going at 60 to 50, okay? This is an area where people fucking live.
With ice, no less. Yeah.
And they whip around here like fucking morons, and a cop literally thinks on a Tuesday night a ride program is a better use of their fucking time. What they should do is sit right at the corner where those fucking trucks whip right out and fucking start hitting them with the fines. That's what they should be doing. That's why I literally, for the cops of where I live, I literally think they're very annoying, and there are a lot of young
Pet
cops.
Cemetery Road.
We kind of like that, yeah. Well, there's a lot of young cops here, because it's like you don't, like, where I live, it's not super big. I think the population is like 100,000 at best.
Yeah. Like, don't you have a fentanyl dealer to go bust there, bud? Come on.
You'd be surprised. There's actually a lot of people here that smoke crack. You'd be very surprised.
Oh yeah. The man, that's what I mean. It's like every time, dude. That's like. It's like keeping my head every time I get pulled over. It's like, don't you have a fentanyl or heroin dealer to go fuck with? Like, why am I here?
Yeah, like I'm not doing anything. Like, leave me the fuck alone, you know? Like, even like, if I'm reading in my
scary experience.
I'm reading in my car, same thing. They'll just approach you. It's like, I'm literally on my break in a parking lot. I got a coffee. I'm reading a book. they come and bang on the window. Oh, sir, what are you doing? It's private property. I'm like, first of all, I'm like, there's a fucking Tim Hortons parking lot. I'm like, second of all, fuck off. Like, I'm reading. Like, what do you want? Like, do you smell alcohol in my breath? Is there weed in this car? No, fuck out of here. Get away from me. And they're like, oh, sir, you don't have to be at so rude. I'm like, fucking piece of shit.
Sorry, have a great day, sir.
Idiots, man.
Sorry, what's your scary story, House?
Yeah,
What do
sorry.
you got?
Well,
That wasn't my scary story. I was just talking shit. Sorry.
yeah, it's just talking shit. That's fine though. I mean, cops wasting time is frightening.
I feel bad that you're
Some
scared of
people
cops, though.
consider it
I literally feel bad that you're scared.
Yeah, it's not that I'm like frightened of. I don't know. It's like
You get nervous.
It applies
You
to
get nervous.
the waste of time. It's just I don't want to be dragged somewhere and have to deal with something and pay something. It's more like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid. I'm not afraid they're gonna kill me. I'm afraid they're gonna give me a citation. But
You don't want to talk to your parents for bail, like
hands up, don't shoot, don't
Pants down.
No, but I was on the way home from usually what it was because I started playing shows in like punk scene when I was like, when I was 12. But when I finally was able to drive, I was driving myself home from these venues on like weeknights, or it'd be a school week, and I'd be driving home. It'd be 3 a.m, and I'd have like some people would be too fucked up to get their stuff home at night, so I'd take my drums and take some amps, and car would be filled. And also like I've dealt with like anxiety disorder my whole life, and driving already made me anxious.
yeah, oh, yeah.
And it'd be like 3 a.m. I'm all like in a weird state of like adrenaline and then buzzed and tired, and being a young teen, I'd be cruising home, and I'd end up having to go through a really bad neighborhood. It was like the shortest way to get to where I lived, and I would be going through this area, and if you were white and you were there that late at night, that meant you were either a drug dealer or you were there to buy drugs. And I was like going, I didn't even know this. The road was 45 miles per hour. I was going 95.
Jesus.
I didn't even know. I was like, God, fuck, I gotta get home. It's 3 a.m. I was going so fast, and immediately a cop just pulls out behind me, like skidding, coming after me. And I immediately pull over, and they're sitting there. Then another cop pulls up behind them. I'm like, oh God, they're gonna know I'm drunk. Like,
Oh God,
they're gonna know I'm 16. Oh shit. Oh God. And I'm like kind of freaking out. And this guy, like, he's comes walking up, has his flashlight pointing it right at my fucking eyes, walking up from the side of the car. The road was empty. And he goes, how you doing tonight? Well, you going pretty fast back there. You in a hurry? And I went, oh yeah, I'm in a hurry to get home. I'm really anxious and it's late. And I'm just coming from work. And he's like, oh, what's that in the back? Oh, drums? You a musician? You play? I go, yeah. And then I see on his arm, he has a huge AC/DC tattoo.
oh God.
And he asked me, so what kind of music do you play? Oh, we're like an AC/DC Bon Scott Days cover band. And he went, no fucking way! And he's like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, how do you, for those about to rock? And I was like, we salute you. He was like, oh man, that's great. And he just talked to me for like 30 minutes. Yeah. And he said, I'm just going to give you a verbal warning. Slow down, man. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Slow down,
and I
man.
just fucking went home. I was like, oh man, I would have gotten a really bad ticket. But thankfully, then that same area later on, it was like a year or so later, I was coming from the same venue, taking the same route home, except I had some friends of mine from school that wanted to go to one of my shows. So I had to like sneak them into a venue, and afterwards, like, they pretend to be like roadies pretty much, and moving my gear. And I remember we were leaving, and I think it was that time, yeah. But then we all had like gear in each other's cars, and we were all in like a carpool heading back to my house. It was still like late. I think it was on the weekend, and we're going through the same area. Me and my friend, we were in a car together with most of our gear. We drive past this intersection, and then immediately behind us, we see a cop car just pull out and pull our friends over behind us. And going, what the hell? were we speeding or like I don't know. So we pull off of the side of the road and look behind us, and just all these cops, like the sheriff's car comes and all these cars, and then we see my two other friends standing in the road while they begin searching their car, and they like pick up a snare drum and they're shaking it.
Oh God!
Like, what's in this? He's like, air.
It's a drum.
And then the cop, my friend told me this, it made me cry laughing. The cop goes in the trunk and he pulls out a maraca. He's like, what is this? A maraca? Do you play it? The maraca? He's like, yes, do you play the maraca? And he's shaking it. It's the funniest fucking shit.
Just fucking with them.
Yeah, and then my friend had he's a trumpet player, and he had some type of like powder in a little bag. He was like something on his trumpet, and it was like white powder in a little plastic bag in a trumpet case, but it had a purpose.
It's like I think they use that shit to get rid of, like, so you can get spit out of there, like it. Yeah.
And the cop picks up. He's like, "Oh, what do we have here?" And starts shaking this
like
bag.
silicon powder. Like,
it's my silicone powder from my for my trumpet to keep the moisture out of my bag.
Oh my God!
And they're like, yeah, likely story. And then like hours later, they finally got I think it was like about over an hour, and they finally let him go. And we're like, man, what the fuck? What happened? Why'd they pull you over? I'm like, they said I was speeding. I'm like, you were going slower than us, and they didn't pull us over. And then we realized it was because they were just two white guys with really long curly hair.
Yeah, exactly. Just profiling.
They probably looked black. God damn it, it's a couple of white boys.
God damn it. Damn it, Tim, we fucked up here. You guys like hot dogs? What is this? You played this instrument? Oh, wow. Yeah, I was thinking about starting a band next month.
I mean, yeah, I guess being in a band, I've experienced really horrifying things. I guess the other thing that was horrifying, I woke up on a couch in someone's house and they were dumping drugs on a table next to me while I was asleep, and they lit the table on fire right next to my head. That was scary. And then I had to run out of the house. I didn't know what was going on.
Fuck.
And then another time, a homeless person busted my window to steal the change out of my car, but not steal my phone or my GPS. Just took my pennies in my cup holder and broke my fucking mirror in the middle of January in Chicago. So it was horribly freezing on the expressway to get home.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, fucking
I'm trying
terrible.
to recall this one horrible. Oh yeah, I was in Southern Illinois somewhere. I forget what town. I think it was Peoria, and we were playing a show, and there were people that came to the show that, and there's people there to see us, and some of them bought a T-shirt online but never got one yet, and for some reason, like, my singer's like, oh yeah, we'll get you T-shirts, we'll give them to you in person. So they arranged, like, meet them after the show to give them the stuff that they never got, and that same show, they were also like, hey, to my singer, we don't have all the money to pay you fully, like with a full amount that you were promised, but we can give the rest of it in ecstasy. Is that fine?
It's a good deal.
And of course he said yes, and then he took all of it by himself.
Yeah.
and then we have these two fans of our band that are hanging out with us, and apparently he brought the T-shirts, he forgot them in the hotel, and he's like, "Oh, you guys could just come with us. We'll go."
Oh God! Look, we're all friends here. Just free hugs.
And,
free
we're all
hugs,
friends, man. Come on! And so they all get in my truck, and then we're like, "So are we ready to go?" And I just see my singer up against the wall of this fucking bar, pissing all over the wall with his pants around his ankles, both his hands on his dick, and he's just like pissing back and forth on the wall, and the two guys in the car are like, is he coming? And I'm like, yeah, he'll be here. I was just like so done. And
that's how I quit the band.
He gets in the back with them, and he's like, okay, let's go get those T-shirts. I thought we were going to go out for a drink. it's like, no, let's go get the t-shirts. And the singer's like, no, let's go out for a drink. I'm like, no, let's go get the t-shirts. Let's head to bed. and they're in the back, and for some reason, a friend of mine in a past thing broke like a garden orb thing in my backyard, and his mom bought a new one to replace it, and his friend gave it to me at school, so it was sitting in the back of my truck still. And of course, this guy on shit ton of ecstasy finds this like reflective garden orb, and he just starts rubbing it and holding it in his hands. And my brother's in the car with me, and he locks the car doors and goes, guess what, guys? Now you can't leave. The singer starts taking all of his clothes off while sitting in between these two dudes who are just fans of the band.
Oh,
He's
Jesus.
like, hey, guys, everything looks like Legos. He's just rubbing up all over him. I'm like, I'm going to pull over and kick you all out. And we're all screaming. And these two dudes are just like, fucking, like, dude, I want to go. Let me out. Fucking let me out of here, man. And this singer is completely naked, tugging on his scrotum, pulling it up to his belly button, going like, oh, everything looks like Legos. And these guys look like white as a ghost. I'm pretty sure they thought they were going to get raped. And we kicked them out of the hotel, and I was afraid they were going to go like tell the cops. We get to the hotel, the dude or singer just runs into the hotel of this Embassy Suites, one of those big ones where the rooms are all around the center, and he's running through the front door, through the lobby, pretty much knocks over this whole bowl of green apples by the reception desk all over the fucking floor. And he goes running straight for the glass elevator. And there's this woman at the front desk with just her jaw down. And he's going up the elevator, rubbing his ass on the glass elevator.
It sounds like a great lead singer.
Wait, how is this like the most terrifying moment? Like I'm confused.
It was terrifying for me because
for you?
I didn't know what he was gonna do. I thought he was like fucked up out of his mind.
It sounds like
Dude,
a
it's just
regular
ecstasy.
Saturday
Sounds
night.
like he's a
for
fucking amateur
yeah,
hour.
what the hell?
Yeah, like come
Dude,
on.
that was horrifying for me. I felt really scared for those people. They were gonna go call the cops.
I've literally
Yeah,
got
so you're not doing the
intoxicated.
drugs.
I peed in drawers with a Bible in it. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like
Dude, that's
That
nothing.
doesn't affect anyone but
I
you.
committed
Well,
sacrilege.
no, it affects the next
My relationship
Gideon
with
that
God.
drops a Bible in
What the
there.
hell?
Like,
It affects your relationship with God. That's
yeah,
fair.
like what?
dude, good. It's the only problem is if you try and make joint papers out of that Bible later. Let me
Yeah,
tell you, son.
For real shit,
Little
real
pea
shit,
soap.
dude. John
Will it light?
3:16, baby. Woo.
Can you roll? Can you roll piss paper?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Dude, horse piss is for quenching
They fucking
different
do it in
types of
prison. They roll
swords.
fucking Bible paper
I
all
just-
day.
Yeah, exactly. They smoke ass
shit,
weed.
You're right.
Just little poop chunks.
Easy.
Dude, you got to
Poop
eat a bunch of
chunks.
edibles.
Yeah, poop
then
chunks.
just poop the
Little
chunks
brownies.
out.
I'll tell you.
Those are called lead singers.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
They just rub their
Okay,
ass on it.
So here's the story, right? So me and my friends are like, hey, man, you want to go check out this old fucking house? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go do that. Because we like to go, what did they call it? Urban fucking exploring, I guess they call it? Or some shit.
Urban exploit. Dude, if this ends with a homeless man chucking shit at you, I'm going to
No,
be so
God,
happy.
no, God, no. It goes in a
Oh.
whole different direction, trust me. Okay, so literally,
You mean you were whipping shit at homeless people?
no, God, no. I can't poop that fast. So fucking, we go. They're like, okay, let's go check out this old house. It's like it's been around for a long time. It's finally abandoned. Whatever. It's like near some houses so we can get to it because it's right off the train tracks. So we go there, go through the train tracks, get to the house. Get in the house. It looks a little spooky. Kind of a little, you know. I've been in a lot of abandoned houses, so I don't really give a fuck. So we're going around. It smells like rotten meat in there. So I'm assuming maybe something died upstairs. Looking around. Not much, okay? And then my friend's telling me the other side of the house, because it's like a duplex split. So there's like half and half. So you have a half the house is one side, like an apartment set up there. The other half is the other side, okay? So he didn't tell me there's another way to connect to the other side, and it's through the basement. So we didn't know about that. But this is where they showed me where the doorway was. Like they literally, it's in a closet, and there's a second doorway there. So we're there with a friend, like my friend, his friend Ryan, and I guess my friend's girlfriend and Ryan's girlfriend, and so I was there with them. And so fucking, we were about to go into the other side of the house, and then we hear somebody like just talking, like it's like what the fuck, right? And I'm like I knew it was gonna be homeless people because it just rained, and I was like, oh, it's probably a homeless person. And so we fucking they're telling me like, oh yeah, like on the other side of the wall, you like fucking his poo smeared all over. Like, I wanted to see it. I really wanted to get in there and look at all the poo on the wall. I was there for the shit. I really did. So I'm like, fuck. So we can't go over there. And so they're like, oh yeah, you can have the other side of the house. You know, I'm just over here. Leave me alone. Blah blah blah. This guy was basically like probably crazy or schizophrenic. So it's better that we didn't go there. So what I did though, while in the process of leaving, was there was a lot of old pieces of things lying around. So the one doorway to get into the other side of the house, I thought there was only one entrance. So what I did was I got the broken down door, I propped it against the railing of the stairs, pushed it against the closet door for the doorway, and then got another chair, barred it from another side. So there was no way they were going to get out of that side of the house. So then we left. All right. And then my friend went back and he was telling me the story that how they went back and they were explaining to Ryan about how they got trapped in last time. And I was just like, and they're like, Ryan was apparently really trying not to laugh when he was explaining, because they went back and they invited him over onto their side. So there was 3 homeless people and a pregnant woman. And I was so mad that I missed this because I fucking really wanted to go on outside the house with the poo. So fucking, they're over there and they're talking to them or whatever, having a chat. And there's this one room that's locked, and Ryan wants to look into it. Ryan's very he likes to explore. He's a very curious guy, so he wants to get in the room. And they're literally every time he inches towards the room, the guy's trying to get in his way to block him. And they're like, "Oh, you don't want to go in there. You don't want to go in there." And there's this weird smell. Like, I mean, unless you've ever smelt rotting flesh, there's no way you really could probably describe it. But Ryan has been. He I don't know, like he's a good guy, but he's had trouble with the law. He's been in jail for here apparently in jail for 5 years or something like that. And so he was like, and when he gets a feeling, he's usually right when he gets it. So fucking he's trying to get in there and they won't let him in there. Like he literally that's where the poo smeared on the fucking door for that, and he can't get in there because he wants to get in there. And he's like, and they got between him and the door. And Ryan's a big guy, so it's like, okay. And he's like, and Brian was explaining the story to me, and he's like, look, they wouldn't let me get in there, right? He's like, it was a weird smell coming from that room, and they were saying like, oh, you don't want to go in there, and they're like, oh, somebody, because they did drugs clearly there, and so what I think is behind that door, and I want to go back and take a look, is a dead body. I think there's a dead body behind there, somebody who OD'd, and they're stashing the body in the back room. I really want to go back there and take a peek at it.
Yeah, go there and smear poop on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
wipe your ass on it.
That's your life calling. Yeah. It's going to bring you happiness.
I'm curious.
Complete the cycle.
Well, I wanted to see the other side of the house, the poop. I wasn't there for it. I'm so mad about it.
That's true. Just go to a Walmart bathroom.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same effect. Walmart bathroom.
But, like they drew pictures apparently to poop.
They drew pictures of it.
I've been fucked up before, but I've never played with my poop on a wall.
No, but schizophrenics and shit like that. Like what this guy was.
Yeah.
Like what I want to explain though is this guy thought they were ghosts. Like he was hearing people talking on the other side of the wall, and then that first time he's like, hey, who's there? Right? He didn't think they were real people. He didn't think we were real people on the other side of the wall. And then he's like, oh man, I don't want any trouble. He's like, oh, I didn't know if you guys are real or not. And we're like, what the fuck? Right? So clearly the poop on the wall, he's a schizophrenic individual on the other side. So I'm assuming it's him. So I'm curious. I was like, yeah. Because I mean, there's some weird shit too. Like there's some like weird like little old like Latin little saint things, like little medallions all over the place. And I was like, what the fuck? It's really interesting to look at because it's like maybe somebody is superstitious, Maybe there are ghosts in there. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, thank you so much for listening to the episode. This is episode 10 of the Derailed podcast.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh man, making it through October so quickly, so fast, so amazing. Yeah. But anyways, you can check us out on the Derailed podcast at podbean.com, and then you can email us at the Derailed podcast at gmail.com. Leave us your questions, suggestions, and if you want to just talk to us, and if you even maybe want to be a guest. We'd be open to it.
Yeah.
If you're a mortician, hit us up in the DMs.
Yeah, hopefully any morticians, please email us. We'd love to have you on the show.
PSA, don't do drugs and drive. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
don't get fucking loaded and drive. Yeah.
Do drugs in your house. That's really what we're saying.
Just be safe.
And respect the police.
Be safe. And respect the police. Yeah.
Be safe.
Be responsible.
And stay safe. Because October's coming. Keep your cats inside. Because cultists will take it, including the forest druids, and they're
What are you talking? I'm more concerned about coyotes. What the fuck?
Forest druids. Yeah, dude, makes sense.
Yeah, druids. Okay, all right. Malfurion, I got you.
I believe in Odin. That's why I'm a forest druid. I play a druid in
forest
World of
people are real.
Warcraft. Oh,
Listen to me. They're real. I've seen them
I don't believe you.
in the woods.
All right.
Shaking the
That's it.
branches.
We're done.
All right.
All right, boys.
Bye.
Bye.
See you
Bye,
next
bye, bye.
week.